Yeah. So I once again. So today we are going to be having the sprint demo for other entry UI sprint 7. So this sprint, what we worked on is worked on implementing a consolidated other entry UI. So that was actually an announcement, or sorry, a proposal from David about making the system that was designed by the previous apprentice from Mandela, that's the drug order entry UI, making it much more robust such that we can incorporate a flow into it for making other types. Yeah. So that was what we started working on. We were able to identify some tickets from the chart and a very rough mock-up that was provided. And we started working on implementing, finishing the tickets, and yeah, we've been able to complete some tickets, and we have something to kind of demo today. Yeah. So I don't know. Before we proceed, can we just do like a quick introduction? I met Mark yesterday on the onboarding call, but I'm yet to meet David. So let's just go around like that. So my name is Timishi Oguni. I'm the current sprint lead for the team working on the consolidated other entry UI. So that's about me. So I'm going to nominate Jed to go next.
Oh, I am Jed. I'm the developer working with the PIH team and also working on the next sprint for other entry. I nominate them. Roland to go next.
Hello everyone, I'm Roland. I'm Jed's partner on PIH and OpenMRS, working on the other entry UI also. So nice to meet you. David, you can go next.
Sure. Hey guys, I'm Dave. I'm the business analyst, partners in health, and yeah, I'm also wrote up the original requirements for this lab order entry. Mark?
I got.
Mark, are you on mute?
Can you hear me? Sorry, I think I did the reverse. I think I met you guys all yesterday, but my name's Mark Goodrich, and I'm the lead software developer out of Boston's PIH's Boston office.
I think I'll just go next.
Sorry, go for it.
Yeah, I'm Gabriel Maika, part of the apprenticeship team, working on the lab order entry. Efos, I'll go next, please.
I'm Efos Kuje. So I'm also part of the team in apprenticeship from Mandela, working on the current lab order entry. So that's it. So it's me, Gabriel, and Tumishe working together for the past 2 weeks now. I guess that's all. Is there anyone remaining? Okay, over to you, Tumishe.
No, that should be Roland.
No, Roland has introduced himself.
I think it's Daniel.
Okay,
I'm
Daniel.
working at TTL for the OpenMRS side.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So okay, I guess I already shared background context about what we are working on. So I'm going to go ahead to share my screen and display what we add on the board and the tickets we're able to complete and how far we've gone with implementing the consolidated order entry UI. So I'm sharing my screen now. Okay. Okay, so I needed to confirm if you can see my screen.
I can.
Yeah, cool. So this is the dashboard, and we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tickets to work on. So the first one is for creating a UI component to show the past and active orders. Okay, let me take it from here. First one that was worked on. Yeah, so the first ticket we actually worked on was adding buttons to review the different type of orders. So what was on the open order entry UI application before? So this is the application. What was there before was only this drug order button where you see, okay, there was actually a drug order button. So immediately you visit this page, you just see the search bar for adding a drug order, and the whole thing is very specific to drug orders alone. But the first thing we worked on was adding another button here, which we can use to switch. You have lab orders, then you have this view for the test panels, the history of lab orders for this particular patient. So that was the first thing we worked on, having a button that can toggle between each view. Yeah. So before I proceed, I don't know if there's any question on that. Anchela, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, no questions on my end.
Okay, cool. So that was the first ticket. The second one is okay, a second. Let me just fetch this guy here. Yeah, the second ticket we worked on was having a template for what the lab order entry is going to look like. So we were able to we came up with this template with the mockup that was provided by David in the talk post where he proposed the consolidated order entry UI. So that was where we came up with this view that's here. So we have this sidebar where you can choose the particular lab order you want to work on, and these panels for selecting the test that you want to order for this particular patient. So yeah, so this is actually dummy data. So they were kind of hard coded into the code base to present what we are all seeing now. So this is actually dummy data. So clicking serum is actually not going to change what's on the right part of the page, and clicking urine would not change what's on the right part of the page. So basically this is just what exists. So this is kind of working based on the dummy data. So we have blood, and then panels, select the panel, then you have some tests selected for that particular panel. So having selected the test, you can go ahead to add or cancel, which will take everything back to the initial state. Yeah, so we hope that when we kind of get the real data that needs to be used, for now we don't know if the data are going to be hard coded into the view, or we are going to be fetching them from a provided API, then using them to kind of power the view. But then what here is currently hard coded. Yeah, so that the second ticket we worked on, having a view that displays what the other lab order entry is going to look like. Yeah. So before I proceed again, I don't know if there's any question on this.
So this is just, hey guys, just a quick question. This is just so far you've just built the display. It's not intended to really work yet, right? Like the cancel and the add buttons, I know they don't work yet, but I just didn't know how much I should test it at this point.
So if I get your question, where you're asking about how functional is this view now?
Right.
Yeah. So for now, what you can do is when you select a test, then when you select something from the panel, some tests, and click the add button, it's actually supposed to send the details of this particular lab order to a particular endpoint. So that was another ticket that was worked on by a developer in the team. But the developer that worked on the ticket was having issue with posting to that particular endpoint. So he was not able to implement the add functionality to add the lab order.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as a high level question though, assuming, this is to you, Dave, assuming that ad worked, are we collecting all the information we need here, or you think something's missing? Like if that would just save it and pop up lab test ordered, is that correct?
I think, well, as far as just displaying the panels on the tests, I think all the information is there. But once you add it, then there's more, once there's a draft order, there's more things you should be able to do there. You should be able to make it urgent. You should be able to add a note, and then you should be able to remove it too. And then of course at the end you should be able to submit all, save all of them.
Okay, so that's kind of feedback. So after adding the lab order, you should be able to kind of do more on the particular lab like making it urgent, adding it to a draft. And is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's it. And of course, something else is, and I know you haven't built this yet, but something else is that these need to be configurable too. You said it's just dummy data, so this, I assume it's more work than to have this the panels and the tests and even the categories on the left be driven by metadata, right?
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday, and Mike had a suggestion for that, which we can go into later. But let's stick with the first Dave's first points first. Is that, Dave? Is that ticketed anywhere, or can we say it just models? Is there? I haven't really looked at the drug orders. Is it really kind of modeling what's going on in drug orders?
It's a little bit. I mean, yeah, the approach is generally the same. I think the UI needs to be a little bit different on the mock-up. There are kind of like different things that you can do for a lab order. Like,
sorry, there is a mock-up that you have.
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
Right, that mock-up page.
Yep.
Let me grab that. So I'm looking. Keep going, guys. Let me grab that. So I have that in front of me too. It'd be helpful for me. But don't wait for me.
Okay, no problem about that. Yeah. So this is the second ticket that was worked on, and so another ticket we worked on was to. Okay, this is actually a bug fix, making component snapshots readable. That's a bug fix in the application, so it's not really affecting the UI of the functionality of the application. So the next one is okay, creating lab history. So below the lab order entry here, there's this active order and past order. So just kind of modeling what exists in the drug orders. So this is meant to show the history of the lab orders of this particular patient, where we have the date the lab order was ordered, then the details of the lab order and the status of the lab order. So just like what exists in the lab order view, it's kind of dummy data. Over here too, the data here are the dummy we were included into this particular table because yeah, we were unable to post to the endpoints that is expected to store the data for the lab orders. Yeah, so if there's any question,
you couldn't post the endpoints to fetch the data, or it wasn't working, or we hadn't documented how to do it.
We are unable to post the endpoint to the endpoints to save.
So therefore you can't view it because there's nothing in there. You're saying.
Yeah, therefore.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, and I think the only other detail that we need there is the urgency.
Okay.
Routine or stat. I think we need to add that.
Yeah. So the urgency is kind of going to be included in this particular view when the user is making the lab order itself. So once we're able to save that into the resource endpoints, then when fetching it, I guess we are going to be needing an extra column here to display the urgency of each lab orders.
So Dave, I've got this document here, but there's something different that's on the ticket somewhere. Does this one? You probably can't.
Yeah, I put two sets of mockups on the OpenMRS wiki that I think they're referring to.
Okay.
One is like more of like the consolidated, like a suggestion on how like the order framework could work to integrate both drug orders and lab orders. And the other one is more specific to the lab orders. Both of those are on the wiki.
Do you guys have those? Sorry, just want to make sure.
Yeah, Mark, I'm looking at them now. I could send you a link.
Okay, great. Just want to make sure you guys have them. Cool.
Yeah. So the feedback has been noted on having an urgency column in this lab order history. That's the third tickets worked on, and I think that's all the tickets we've been able to finish up. So the only ticket that is still left is the ticket for consuming the endpoints. This particular ticket is meant to make the adding of lab orders functional. So when I click on this add lab order, it's supposed to post the information about this lab orders to the resource endpoint for storing test orders. But then like I said earlier, we are having an issue with that particular endpoint. And the developer that worked on this, that is a FUSA, has reported the bug in the web REST service module. And I believe he and Mark, they're working very closely to get that fixed. Yeah. So that's all about it. That's all the tickets we have on the board. So now I guess we can proceed to, okay, let me stop sharing my
So
screen.
hold on just a second. So Mark, so you and I will work together to get more tickets out there, do you think?
I would assume that makes sense, unless Tumishe, you were going to be able to write some.
I guess it makes more sense for you and David to work on adding tickets, because what I was hoping for was that we are going to be having a design call tomorrow. So after the design call, possibly we'll be able to get more ticket ourselves on the board. But then since you and Mark know what the status of the project looks like now, I guess it makes a lot of sense for maybe I start working on adding more tickets on the board so we can get ourselves busy with that.
That makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I want to stop sharing my screen now. Yeah, so now we are going to be welcoming general feedback on how the sprint went. So, Mark, David, what do you think about what we've done so far?
I think it looks good. I mean, for what I can see, I think it looks good. It's generally, I think, what we intended for the view to it. And obviously, we'll know much more when we get more functionality added. But so far, so good.
Yeah, so far so good for me too. I mean, I just kind of stepped in a couple days ago, so I don't have much feedback yet. Maybe more after the next sprint.
Okay. Yeah, so that's what we have for this particular sprint demo. So we are going to be starting the sprint retrospectives now. So if you would want to jump off the call now, then yeah, you can. But then if you stay, that would be awesome. Yeah. So guys, the last
I'll stay
sprint.
for this one, sure.
Okay, cool.
I'll lurk in the background.
Yeah, thanks. So in the last sprint, started last sprint, that's about 2 weeks ago, and the very early part of July, and we are ending the sprint today. So now we are going to be having a sprint demo. What went well? What do we need to improve on? Do you have any feedback, any comments on the team dynamics, the team sync? So I guess we can just go one by one. So Officer, you can start.
Okay. Right. So the past 2 weeks has been quite engaging, given the fact that I've never worked on any open source project before now, but it's been a good experience. But I think and the wiki, what I really liked about the project is that the wiki is very most parts is actually well documented, but there are still some parts that were not quite well documented. But in all, the project made perfect sense, um and then though we as a team we didn't quickly integrate into the project initially because we were having this back and forth on the design, how the design should be, the approach that we should use. But we're able to like almost accomplish what we set out to do for this sprint, if not for the blocker we had with posting the lab order. So all in all, it has been great. And so I don't have any feedback. And the team dynamics has also been great, given the fact that we are living in different time zones. Mark still made time to like respond to my comments on Jira and on talk as well. So it's quite commendable. All right, so I think Gabriel can go next.
Okay. Thank you. For me, the past 2 weeks went well as well. Um, got to introduce ourselves to a large community. It's actually the first time um, I've experienced this. I'm experiencing this kind of large community. Also meeting new people, new guys. Um, Quiz is practically easy because the stack is something we're familiar with. Um, Furthermore, nothing much. Nothing else was really difficult, and I think it's going well, going smooth, and um, yeah. Um, um, Jed, please go next. Yeah, just that's it.
Yeah. So I joined towards the end of the sprint, and I think the team dynamics is good. A lot of communication, and that was really good. The code base looked nice. Everything was tested, and yeah, basically just good comments around from communication and the technical side of it from my point of view. And so, Roland, you can go next.
Yeah, is Roland there?
Don't worry.
Okay,
Oh,
go.
mic checking. So I like Jet joined towards the end of the sprint. But so far I like the dynamics between the guys. They weren't looking phased at all. They were super confident working with the code base, and the way they put me through everything. So it was really, really professional. And also, I got to take a look at the code base, and I saw how it was structured and how it's detailed. It's okay. So far, I've been able to find resources that I need in order to get things done. If I need something done, I know where to go at the moment. So, but in all, it's actually been good so far. So I'm hoping the next sprint will be better than the previous one.
Yeah, so I think it's back to me. So for me, what went well? Well, the first thing I would like to say is last week, the last sprint was actually kind of very stressful, and that's very much expected because I'm the sprint lead. So and it was not just stressful, but likewise very engaging. So most time I made sure my talk a talk page is open. So whenever there's any notification, I want to check, and I'll kind of learned a lot when it comes to better at communicating. So that includes talks, Slack, emails. You want to be there when there's an email. You want to be there when there's a talk post to see what's going on, how you can respond. So last week has been very fun and also stressful. Yeah. So another thing I really enjoyed in this particular sprint. So this is actually my first sprint on this project. So another thing I enjoyed was that the community is very much interested. Like when you post something in on talk that okay, hey guys, take a look at this. We are thinking of doing this way. We are definitely going to see someone to say, okay, this is my feedback on it. Okay, why don't we try like this? Okay, I've got this to say on that. Yeah, so it's kind of give me more energy to continue to work on the project. So when I see that yes, people are actually interested in what we're doing, people are kind of looking forward to see the output of our works. Yeah. Another thing I enjoy, just like I said earlier, so I started working on this project last week. The code base was kind of very nice. The team that worked on the project before us, they did a great job. The code base was very nice, so I was able to onboard very quickly, and I was up to speed, completing tasks and kind of reviewing pull requests, and yeah, being a sprint lead. So what did not go well, and okay, I think I have something on that, which is the fact that we had this whole lot of should I say back and forth about the flow of the consolidated order entry UI. because the mockup that was first provided was kind of very rough, and it was much more like integrating what already exists with the new thing that we are trying to add, so making it drug order and the lab order work together. But along the way, David proposed another mockup. That one is kind of making the lab order kind of very much more a standalone. So the way the drug alone was standalone before I started working on it. So that was what the mockup was kind of depicting. Yeah, so we had to reach out back to the community, and then we already started working on what we have on the board, implementing the consolidated UI. So and there's this whole lot of feedback, and we have to respond to those feedback. We have to integrate them into what we already have. But it's kind of stressful, and at times it's kind of drag the teams back. It drags the team back when you already worked on this particular feature and you believe, okay, this is looking great, this is looking fine, and there is this feedback that yes, you definitely have to respond to. This feedback is very valid. Yeah. So the lag that happens in between, you have something done, there's a feedback, you have to implement feedback, kind of, yeah, it's kind of demoralize the team at time. However, we set up a design call that's supposed to happen tomorrow. So hopefully with that design call, we have all the stakeholders on board and we discuss what the UI flow should eventually be like. So with that, we the whole team, we can be on the same page. There's going to be nothing like time lag between having to report the work done and getting a feedback on it. And yeah, we hope we'll be up to speed after the design call. Um, so that's all from my end. And for feedback, one thing I would like to give feedback on is the team dynamics. So you guys have been awesome this last sprint. You did a great job. Whenever I'm posting a message, there's kind of always someone ready to respond. You guys complete your task on time, pick up a new task on the board, raise pull requests, review pull requests. Yeah, you guys have you've been awesome. Yeah, great job.
Cool. So
Yeah.
just to summarize, you think that more timely feedback would be helpful, and the mock-ups. You think was it more detailed mock-ups? I missed. You kind of cut out a bit for a second there. About there was like a first mock-up and then a second mock-up. What was the? Did I get that right?
Yeah, there was a first mock-up. So if you check the okay, let me just share my screen.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. So okay, I mean, yeah. So this was where the consolidated order entry UI design was kind of proposed, and there is this link to the first mock-up you saw, and this is the mock-up we're actually working on. Uh, yeah. So this is the mock-up. The first one that we got. So the second one, let me see. I think I should be from here. Okay.
On the wiki, if you're on the wiki, it's under that. It's right under that page. So from the other mockup, you can get there easily too.
I did not get that.
If you go back to the other mockup, it's
Okay.
on the. It's right underneath that page on the wiki. So if you lab, there it is.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the second mock-up. So this one is kind of my belief is that this is showing the lab order entry as a standalone, just like the way we have the drug order entry being a standalone. So this one also represents the lab order entry as a standalone, as opposed to what we had before, which shows the lab order entry as something that was integrated into the existing drug order entry.
And this is a really good point. If I could kind of say a few things here. So I think ultimately what we want is a consolidated order entry framework that includes lab orders, drug orders, chemotherapy, a lot of things. The thing that we're most concerned with right now, we already have drug orders. We'd like to add lab orders. And as we're doing this, we should keep in mind that this should be in a consolidated framework where we can add other order types easily in a way that makes sense for the user, so that they could potentially add multiple types of orders within the same order, within the same group of orders. So I hope that makes sense. I think one thing we need to figure out, and I think the design call tomorrow will give us a lot of information, but we need to figure out what's the best way to proceed. Maybe it does make sense to build this lab order page as a standalone page for now, and then we'll work on consolidating it, or maybe it makes sense more to build a consolidation in as we're going. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'll stop sharing my screen now.
And there was like that first set of mock-ups that was more like just an idea of what that consolidated framework would look like. And then the second mock-up is just a little bit more detail on just the lab orders, which I think is what we're focusing on here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah, thanks, Dave.
Yeah, so I think we've come to the end of the call. So
sorry, I will just add that I do think that we should try and do a good job of getting more tickets in the queue for you. I know that I'm working all this week, but kind of working half days, which is not normal. So my schedule's a little tighter than normal. And I know Dave's got there's some partners in town that are taking up a lot of his time. So we may be a little slow over the next couple of days. We're going to try and move as fast as we can. And then I want to make sure once we're back on full time, we can really get some stuff up in the queue for you guys and get back to your question. And also answer your questions quicker, so the feedback cycle is quicker.
Yeah, we'll try to stay ahead of you with tickets. It might be a little bit slow at first, though.
Right, just the next couple of days might be. Hopefully, if we're slow, if we're still slow in the next couple of days, give us a few more days to see if we can get up to speed again.
Yeah.
Okay.
But thanks, guys. It's been great. Good to get involved in this.
Yeah. Thanks for your time. Thanks for attending the call. Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
Everyone.